Hey babe, I've been carrying a storm in my heart for what feels like an eternity now, and I need to share this with you. Lately, I found myself caught between two worlds, one that I thought I belonged to and another that has slowly started to feel foreign. It's as if every day I wake up feeling the weight of a decision I've been avoiding, a choice that's been gnawing away at me until the truth can no longer be ignored. For so long, I convinced myself that remaining with the third party was the right thing to do. I told myself over and over that if I just pushed through the doubts, if I could ignore the subtle signs, things would eventually fall into place. I tried to smooth over the cracks I saw every day, hoping they were just temporary imperfections in what I believed was a strong foundation. But as time went on, the fissures deepened and the illusion of stability began to crumble under the pressure of my own conflicted heart. I remember countless nights lying awake, wrestling with the idea that something was fundamentally off. I spent hours trying to convince myself that I was doing the right thing, that the sacrifices I was making would somehow lead to a future filled with the love and happiness I so desperately craved. Yet, no matter how much I clung to that hope, the truth remained stubbornly clear. I was living in a world that no longer resonated with who I truly am. There was this persistent, quiet whisper inside me, a voice that grew louder with each passing day, telling me that this path, as painful as it was to accept, was never meant to be my destiny. Looking back, I see a pattern in all the moments we shared. It wasn't just the occasional missteps or misunderstandings. It was a series of subtle manipulations and excuses that, over time, formed a web too intricate to deny. I recall how the reasons for every mistake were always conveniently explained away. Every time something went wrong, there was always an excuse ready, a way to shift blame and avoid taking responsibility. At first, I wanted to believe that these actions came from a place of care or misguided affection. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, it became undeniable that these were not the actions of someone who truly valued my heart. It hurts to admit that I've been a willing participant in this game, unknowingly letting someone else hold the strings of my life. I've been following a path that wasn't really my own, a path paved with promises that were never meant to be fulfilled. I now see that the dreams I once built, those hopes that felt as solid as rock, were constructed on foundations that were, in reality, unstable and unreliable. I clung to those dreams because they gave me something to hold on to, but holding on to them has only brought me pain. The more I tried to justify my choices, the louder the truth became. It hit me like a cold slap in the face, a jolt of clarity in the midst of confusion. I realized that my heart, with all its fierce longing for authenticity and truth, had been trying to tell me something important all along. It wasn't enough to keep hoping that things might change if I just stayed long enough. I began to see that the pattern of behavior, the constant shifting of blame, the subtle manipulations, the unspoken game of control, was something I could no longer ignore. This isn't just about feeling hurt or betrayed. It's about acknowledging a deeper truth. I have been living a lie, and it's time to step away from it. The realization that I've been used, that I've been a pawn in a game I never wanted to play, is both painful and strangely liberating. I feel sorrow for the time I lost, for the dreams that now seem like distant memories built on false promises. But there is also relief in knowing that I'm finally breaking free. As I prepare to leave behind this chapter of my life, I find myself on the precipice of something new, a new beginning that, although shrouded in uncertainty, feels like the only path toward true peace and happiness. I'm standing at the edge of a new chapter, one where I can finally listen to the quiet voice within me that has long been silenced by fear and doubt. It's a decision that has been a long time coming, one that I did not make lightly or without a great deal of introspection and soul searching. I won't lie to you, babe. The road ahead is daunting. I know there will be moments when I question whether I made the right choice. Moments when the uncertainty of the future will feel overwhelming. But I've come to understand that this journey is about finding peace within myself, about choosing a life that feels authentic and true to who I am. It's not about running from the hard parts or denying the pain of the past. It's about accepting that some chapters must close in order for new ones to begin. In the quiet moments when the weight of my decision feels almost too heavy to bear, I think back on all the times I tried to convince myself that everything was all right. I remember the countless times I reassured myself that the connection we had was real, that the love I felt was enough to overcome the obstacles. But now, looking at the situation with clear eyes, I see that the comfort I once found in that connection was nothing more than a mirage, a fleeting illusion that masked the reality of what was really happening. There's a bittersweet mix of emotions that fills me as I write this. Part of me grieves for what we had, for the dreams and promises that now seem so fragile in the light of truth. I mourn the loss of the future I once imagined, a future where everything would magically fall into place. But another part of me feels a profound relief, a relief born from the realization that I no longer have to live a lie, that I no longer have to be confined by the expectations of a relationship that no longer serves me. I want you to know that this isn't about assigning blame or casting judgment. It's about recognizing that I have reached a point where I must choose what's best for my own well being, even if it means facing the uncertainty of a future without the familiarity of our past. I have spent too long hoping for a change that never came, too long trying to mend something that was inherently broken. Now, I must take the difficult step of letting go in order to move toward a life that truly reflects who I am. Every moment that led me here has been a part of my journey, a journey that has taught me more about myself than I ever imagined. It wasn't an easy road, and the lessons have been as painful as they have been enlightening. I now understand that the path to true happiness isn't paved with compromises or half truths. It's paved with the courage to face our deepest fears and the strength to choose a future that resonates with our innermost selves. So, as I prepare to walk away from this chapter, I want you to know that my decision is not one of anger or bitterness. It is a decision born out of a need to reclaim my life, to rediscover the person I have long forgotten amidst the chaos and confusion. I choose to step forward into the unknown with a heart that is both heavy with memories and light with the promise of renewal. I realize that this message may bring a mixture of emotions for you: hurt, confusion, maybe even a sense of betrayal. I can only ask for your understanding as I embark on this path towards self discovery and healing. The journey ahead will undoubtedly be filled with challenges, but I firmly believe that every step I take will bring me closer to a life where my heart is finally at peace. I must choose what feels right for me, even if that means leaving behind what once felt like a safe haven. Thank you for the moments we shared, for the memories that, despite everything, I will always cherish. I hope that someday, in some way, you too can find the peace and clarity that I am now seeking. It is time for me to move forward, to find that elusive piece of happiness that has always seemed just out of reach. This is not the end of my story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, one where I am free to be true to myself, to choose a life that is filled with authenticity and genuine love. With all my heart, your name.